This is coming through. Hey everyone, Daryl as a service. Just a bit of pre-live banter. I wanted to take a quick look at something that's arrived recently. Well, first of all, here's a new place for taking a look at. Let's just turn off that there. A new place for taking a look at announcements around adoption, user adoption, and the like. There is a new Microsoft account for this dedicated to user adoption, MSFT adoption. And so I've turned on the old alerts there to make sure that I just see all tweets coming through. So this morning I got notified that there's the new Microsoft feedback portal. We knew that UserVoice was going out eventually, and it had a bit of ups and downs, stops and starts with Microsoft Teams. I think it was stopping and then it got brought back. But the plan was to create this new portal, and there was a blog post published yesterday in the tech community, and just announcing that Microsoft Teams is now using the feedback portal in preview, and they have taken some time to bring over some of, or I would say most of our suggestions as they've come through. So if we just take a look at some of the things that it is going to promote. I have gone to aka.ms, let's zoom on in there, aka.ms/Teams feedback, and that is a shortcut through to the portal and to the Microsoft Teams category. So let's just have a look at it in our, where have I put it? Here it is. Here's our Teams category. The Teams category is actually just one of three. So while Teams is in preview in the feedback portal, you will also have Microsoft Edge and other feedback. That's interesting. Did you see it disappear? Funny. Let's just tap back one and I'm sure it's still there. The portal is powered by Dynamics Customer Services. It is a feature that Microsoft is making available to Dynamics customers to run their own portal for getting customer feedback. So it makes sense to use some of their own kit, dog food it as you will, and in this preview mode, Microsoft Teams have brought across 1,329 pieces of feedback. So if you were to visit this today, you're going to see a lot of posts where the suggestion has come back from, or has been posted by the Microsoft feedback team, and then there's an official response there, which is just continuing that conversation from the perspective of what are they planning to do for that piece of feedback. I've signed in to the feedback portal using my Microsoft 365 account, and so it's all integrated in that sense. We don't have to sign up for a UserVoice account. It's all part of that experience. And so in the Microsoft Teams portal, or rather forum for feedback, and in this category, we've got a few things that we can do to filter and take a quick look at some of the pieces of feedback. I'm going to try and take a look at one of the categories that I'm quite interested in, which is around meetings. So if we go down to the categories area on the right-hand side there and click See All, there's a ton of different categories, and we'll go into meetings. So that will filter the list of feedback available to us. So as we go into here, you can see the top suggestion there is the ability for meeting participants to draw on a shared screen. Now, I find this interesting. It's the top one in this list. I know it's got nothing to do with the time that it was posted, but it is actually forwarded, or rather ordered based on the, there it is, filter there, most votes. So that's your default view that's come through. And it is actually something that is a recent conversation with a customer of mine where we are wanting to encourage them to use Microsoft Teams for more of their meetings, but they really do enjoy this feature of being able to draw on a shared screen and guide their customer through, or some of their staff members through in a support sense. Share the screen, draw some circles around a button you want them to push, and then you allow them to do more of the driving rather than you doing the driving. So good feature request. And in this feedback portal, we can see that the feature detailed, and there's some tags in there. There's a tag there about we are considering this. So that's your flag to say that, yep, it is getting attention. And so I think maybe you're able to filter on that status. We'll have a look at that some other time. There's the official response. So good to see that we know that it's getting some attention. So what can I do in terms of responding or engaging in this conversation? Much like we had with UserVoice, where we could, pile in on those replies and say, "Yep, me too. I think that's great," and show some support. What I can do first of all is I'll upvote this suggestion. So I'm going to click on the up arrow beside the number of votes and add my vote there too. Do you remember the old days when UserVoice only allowed you to have a certain number of votes? I don't know if you remember that, but early on you had like maybe 15 votes and you had to assign them to a thing that you wanted to support and then take them away as that thing became a priority in the production of whatever they were developing. But yeah, what's my thoughts on this? Agree with this. My customers want to move from another product, but really value the ability to draw on a shared screen. Cool. So adding my comment there, what does it look like? Good-o. I haven't gone in and given myself a profile picture or anything like that. I guess you could do that. We can have a quick look at that soon. But at least I've added part of my support for this suggestion and engaged in that comment. Now, there is another thing that we can do. I guess now that I've replied to it, effectively I'm following this suggestion. But if it was something that I just read, then maybe I could also tap the follow button, and I can see at the top of that suggestion now it says I've upvoted, I've commented, and it's now followed by me. So we'll also try and have a look in our profile soon and see, is that something that we can see all the followed suggestions that I'm interested in. What else can I do? Well, maybe I want to try and share this suggestion far and wide, and so I'm doing this from my tablet, but I'll just tap on the share button and Twitter, and I expect, yep, there we go, it's opened up the local app. So let's say I support this suggestion for being able to draw on a shared screen in a Microsoft Teams meeting. Check this out. I think I'll just check this out on the new feedback portal. New feedback portal. What else have we got? Thanks for the tip, MSFT adoption. Nice one. All right. So that gets tweeted out. What does that tweet look like? And there's nothing really there to fetch in terms of an image to see whether it's, not going to display any kind of image from that link, but tapping on through directly to that feedbackportal.microsoft.com. Nice, easy name to remember as well. Here we go. It's got my feedback, and I've shared it. So maybe you could sign in from here directly and add your feedback there. Whoa. So the life of a tablet. Let's just try and get rid of that one. But that's cool. We know that works. So let's go back and just have a look at maybe the profile experience, because I want to see if that does indeed. I'll just check something over here. I want to make sure that my volume levels are doing their thing. I've got no idea. I have fun with my my laptop at the moment where the main screen freezes and I can't do a thing. So I'm gonna have to find some way of turning this off from Restream eventually. So let's go through, what are we looking at? We're looking at profile. So we are interested in what we can do. Yes, okay, so under here we've got our my feedback. So at least I can go in here and see what comments I've added to different pieces of feedback in the portal. So a quick way to do that. I see I've got filters as well. So this, once you start getting quite active in the portal and giving feedback, this could be quite a list. And you might want to filter on it and say, look, I want to see things that are just followed by me or upvoted by me. Now, I didn't really see whether by replying to some feedback, whether it also makes me follow it. It feels like it's still quite a separate thing. But I would expect that's how I would like it to work. If I have joined the conversation, then I'm interested in any responses. But, you know, in saying that, if it's something that gets quite busy, you know, there's 8,965 votes to support this feedback. Maybe now that it's public and available, people might pile on and add their opinions of me too, and yeah, I think this is great. Hey, can you add this to this type of feature? Usually that's what happens. These conversations get quite long. They can also get quite heated. Some of these conversations do tend to draw quite passionate feedback, if I can put it that way. So you might want to unfollow a piece of feedback so that you're not getting all the pings of all the notifications. Now, I don't know if this has also sent an email notification. Not quite comfortable diving into my email without quickly checking what was there. Maybe just try on my phone and just see if it's safe. But I expect that as a backup, you would usually get some kind of email notification to say that you've subscribed to this, you've followed this, and people have replied to your piece of feedback or a piece of feedback that you're interested in. So I'm not seeing anything here on my mobile from just adding some feedback. If I go into, let's have a look at junk mail, because maybe this is something that, yep, no, I'm not seeing anything there at this point. Right, so maybe something will come through when eventually I have someone reply to this followed conversation. But look, those are my initial thoughts as I take a quick walk through this. I'll go back to the home with the two forums. I find that really interesting that, I don't know, surely Teams is still part of there it is, it's back again, right. It is still part of the preview for the feedback forum, but maybe as you're visiting it, some kind of caching thing going on there, the category disappears. Go back in there. 1,330 pieces of feedback. Cool. Oh, well, there's one other thing I want to check out. Can I go in here and dress my profile up? Nope. First name, last name, email address. So remember, it is a preview feature, but it is something that we can look forward to seeing it improve. Tons of categories, tons of platforms to try and filter the feedback. Maybe you're interested in Teams on iOS, and maybe you're interested in, let's go into notifications. So is there anything specific about, nope, nothing specific about notifications in iOS. I do have some feedback on that. But if I take away iOS as a platform, leave it set to notifications, yeah, improve the audio notifications. The volume sound is too low, and most people don't think it's even on. Good feedback. Good feedback. Yeah. I don't think it's anything to do with audio settings, because can you dial up just the notification volume? No, it's going to be the volume for the whole application. So I do find that with some notification sounds in different applications that a bit like recording volume. Sometimes you'll hear an ad that's really loud, or sometimes your favorite YouTube channel has quite a mid sort of recording and it's lower than everything else that you listen to. It's a bit like that with notification sounds, that the noise that they've chosen as the sound design is not super loud, is it? It's just something that sort of bing bongs in the background and might sound quite elegant, but it's not enough to get your attention over the din of an open office, or for many of us, the background noises of working from home. I've waffled on enough. I think maybe this has been of value to you, maybe, but check it out for yourself. So that back at that blog post, that was not it. And I think I've just very cleverly closed there it is, the feedback portal. Here it is. That the short link for it is aka.ms/Teams feedback, but you'll also find the portal at, it was feedbackportal.microsoft.com. So cheers for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for engaging in the chat, although I saw a few people drop in and back. I'm getting a few errors here. I've got a frozen screen right there. I'm going to flick off, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.